Hi, my name is Rupert Anthony Ortiz, and welcome to Indie Film Talk, where we talk to the true independent filmmakers. Tonight, I have with us Scott Langford. Now, Scott comes to us from San Antonio, Texas, where he is the film programmer for the San Antonio Film Festival, which is in its 20th anniversary. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
And he has several producer and director credits, including the film we're going to be talking about tonight, Remake.
So, I knew you were against, like, the whole remake thing.
Everything in Hollywood now is like a remake, a revamp, or a prequel, or a sequel, or a reach around, or whatever you want to call it.
Hey guys, please let me understand this correctly because I don't want to get too excited. Are you saying, are we talking about making a movie right now?
Yes, Hank.
Blackjack Johnson.
I mean, you know we don't know how to make a movie, right?
Did you know that I want to be an actor? This could be a huge break for me.
We're gonna make a movie, and it's gonna be a fucking remake.
Scott, welcome to Indie Film Talk. Tell us a little bit about your background in filmmaking.
Okay. Well, I grew up in San Antonio, and then I went off to school in Texas at Texas State in San Marcos. And so it was somewhere in that time where I really started kind of, I guess, exploring filmmaking as more of like a career and not just kind of this little thing that we did with friends on the side. I worked for a little bit at the Austin Film Festival in their screenplay department. I interned a little bit with Richard Linklater up there and got to work on one of his sets. Produced a couple things, but then moved back to San Antonio about 4 years ago, and where kind of leads us to today, where I've produced and directed about 5 or 6, I guess, short films and a TV pilot.
What do you think is the attraction that filmmakers have to short films, specifically yourself?
Well, it's cheaper, so that's a good start. But no, short films they're great because it's a big. I mean, it's a challenge. You'd think just because it's shorter it would be easier, but kind of in a sense it's tough because you just have such a short amount of time to convey just a full, complete story. So you get to work out kind of your craft, develop your style. Make a bunch of mistakes, so then when you kind of are able to take that next step, you've worked out those mistakes and you kind of got your stuff ready to go.
I saw Remake during a screening at Spider House during the South by Southwest Film Festival. How was it screening the film to an audience?
I was super excited to get to show it during South by, but yeah, it was super nerve-wracking at first. Just, you know, no one had really seen this thing but me and then a few people that had kind of worked on posts with it. But it was awesome. I think as a filmmaker, that's one of the best experiences, is getting to watch the audience watch your film.
What would be your elevator pitch for Remake?
Well, Remake, it's a dark comedy that kind of pokes fun at the idea now that everything coming out are remakes or reboots or sequels, prequels, all that stuff. But it follows these 4 group of friends, and they have no idea how to make a movie. And to combat that and kind of counteract that, they decide that, okay, well, we're going to remake a movie since that's all people do now anyways, and it's just copying movies, so how hard could that be in their head? And so that leads them to a terrible decision to make probably the worst possible remake as their first film, and as Braveheart.
You look like a badass from Braveheart.
Here's your sword and take care of that kill, and I'll be seeing you on the flip side. Don't be a stranger. Don't be.
Braveheart.
Now the actors that you worked with, you have some very talented actors in the film. Devin Bonet, Byron Brown, Johnny Walter, and Kelsey Problitsky.
Mm-hmm.
They all, just watching the film, they all seem to mesh very well together. Do you usually prep with like rehearsals? Everything just seemed to run very smoothly. What is it you do to lead up to the first day of filming?
I was very blessed to have such an awesome cast. I was so proud to have these guys, and they did such a great job. But as far as my plan of action, it's kind of just dependent on what we're shooting, and each film's going to be a little bit different. Just because the guys I hadn't worked with as much, we met and we did a little bit of rehearsal a few weeks prior, but it was real informal. It was just more kind of just getting everyone in the same room, getting an idea of characters, reading a little bit of lines, but just kind of bouncing some ideas off each other.
You mentioned improvising. all of those guys just seem to be on point with their comedic timing. So I take it you had a mix. You gave them the freedom to improvise some lines, but as well as saying scripted through some.
Yeah, I mean, before we even shot a single frame, I kind of sat and talked to everybody, just saying that I trust you guys. I wouldn't want anyone else here except for you, and so I have total faith that you're going to do great. And with that being said, don't feel that you're just married to the script. It's kind of there as a roadmap, but I do what you're going to do, and I know it's going to be great. And if we need a little bit of direction, we'll kind of talk about it. But yeah, I think just reiterating and making sure that they knew that I trusted them, just let them. I think got the best performance out of them because they felt comfortable doing what they do, and honestly, they elevated the script. They made my job a lot. They made me look really, really good. And I've been post very, very hard trying to choose which take I'm going to use because they're all awesome.
We come to terms with the fact that Hollywood's lazy. We're going to find a movie, and it's going to be something that everyone loves and is epic. And what are we going to do? We're going to fucking love it harder, and we're going to make it epicer, right? And then everyone's going to love us for it. And then it's just simple math. Just think about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just really excited about this.
That's good.
Remake, you originally wrote that as a feature film, and you're developing the feature film now. When you do the feature film version, do you plan on keeping all the actors that you used for the short? Would you like to have them all come back to play the characters in the feature film version?
Yeah, definitely. And we had talked about that even before. At the same time, kind of just going off of the fact that in the story, they don't know how to make, movies, and they're kind of unknown in that. And so I wouldn't want to have a name or a face, because I think it would kind of take you out of the story because you'd be like, oh, it's that guy from this movie.
What advice would you give to aspiring filmmakers out there?
I would say really, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, but just when you're young, just keep shooting, keep writing, keep shooting, keep working, work out all those mistakes that you're inevitably going to make. Steven Spielberg or Tarantino or Scorsese, they didn't make perfect films or great films their first try. So you got to work out these mistakes early on. And it's a great way to kind of really hone your craft and develop everything.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll be sure to tell everyone to check out the San Antonio Film Festival in its 20th anniversary. I think it starts in July, end of July?
July 28th to August 3rd.
Perfect. And then to also be on the lookout for Remake, which will be playing at festivals. Where can we find more information about the film?
You can go. We have a Facebook page, so you can find it on Facebook. Play a little bit of festivals, but then it's really gung ho on getting the feature done. So that's the big push, and that's our priority right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Scott.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Mexican Braveheart. So stupid it might actually work.